Y'all know what this is.
Knicks Rehab.
Knicks Rehab, y'all.
Lemon Pepper Lou with some thoughts on the Knicks.
Right, and we just talked about it with the Lakers. You can't allow your offense to dictate your defense. I felt like they kind of hung their heads after they didn't have a great third quarter game, and they just went out and didn't try to defend anybody, and they threw the white flag in. You know, as far as the 3 out of their 6 being tough losses, we don't really look at those. Like it's no good way to lose, right? And so when you look at the New York Knicks, they're the type of team when they lose. They lose.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Doesn't matter if it's by one game winner or by 12.
Yeah, like when they lose, it's a glaring loss because you can see what's going on, and that's why you can look at that game last night, look at that third quarter that they had, and the way that they shot the basketball. And Cleveland just made them pay for it every time. They'll shoot a shot, it doesn't go their way, miss basket, hang their head, so don't hustle back on defense. And Cleveland made them pay for it in the transition, and they kind of start styling on them in that game. You know, if you shoot 3 for 24 from the field, you almost can't get a layup to go, and you can't have that. You can't have that identity of a team if you're the New York Knicks, especially if you want to be a title contender. But no, I'm not panicking, and I'm not looking at it bigger than what it is. They're still in a great position, even though they're tied for third and fourth, and they can possibly slide a little bit if they don't get their act together. But I think what's important for them is going into the playoffs, they need to remain a home court advantage basketball team. And if they don't do that, we're looking at a completely different outcome for the New York Knicks.
Jalen Brunson didn't have over 20 shots. So what happened? I was told when he shoots under 20 shots, we're going to win the game. Yeah. Bullshit, like I said from the beginning. Half them teams that we beat when he shot under 20 shots were all bums. Straight bummage, garbage. So if we're beating teams that he doesn't have to shoot 20 shots for, what a surprise. He doesn't have to shoot 20 shot attempts against the Wizards. Thanks, guys. That's not the problem. It's never going to be the problem. What are we going to say now that Cat, again, has 5 field goal attempts from a point guard who never passes the ball? Meanwhile, the same player was an MVP candidate last year. He was playing alongside Julius Randle, played alongside Luka Doncic, who sounded like a damn broken record. Yes, I do. He's a one-on-one player, and we never talked about this before until this season. Why? I don't get it. This is not Jalen Brunson's fault. It's not even Karl-Anthony Towns' fault. This shit is all Mike Brown. And God damn it, the whole day, I was fearing going live because I know Flea is holding back a laugh. He's holding back a smirk because boy, oh boy, was he right. The entire time last year, he said, okay, so what's the plan? And he was yelling at us about it, but he was really saying, yo, okay, cool, we could come up with a plan. Do they have a plan up there in the front office? They did not have a plan. Mike Brown was not the fucking plan. And now we can see there was a time with Tibbs, who was voted most hated coach in the league, had Karl-Anthony Towns playing one of his best, if not his best season of his career last year. Bless you, Flea. Karl-Anthony Towns started the season off by protesting the coach. I don't know what this shit is about. No, he's not planting the flag. No, he's not throwing a grenade on the court. No, he's not doing that. He's not that type of guy. But it's in the middle of the season still. 5 field goal attempts. I don't want to hear about Karl-Anthony Towns not asking for the ball anymore. AllBall hates when we bring up the Shaq and Kobe comparison. Sorry, AllBall. Phil Jackson sat Kobe down and he said, yo, dog, you got 8 straight games with 40 points. You have to feed the big fella. If not, we're going to lose him. Why does an NBA coach know this at the highest level? We're talking about the peak shooting guard, peak center, peak coaches of all time, all together in one room, one organization. And they even said, you can't lose the big man, bro. You can't lose your superstar teammate. You have to feed him the ball. Well, Mike Brown, why aren't you drawing up plays from last year? Just borrow the playbook. Are you too stubborn to realize that what you're doing is fucking stupid? You're trash.
I'll take it a step further. Maybe Jalen Brunson and Mike Brown is in cahoots. Maybe Mike Brown don't like Karl-Anthony Towns. I mean, I don't know how many excuses we need to come up with.
Maybe Mike Brown doesn't like Karl-Anthony Towns, and neither does Jalen Brunson. So they're working together to get him. It doesn't make sense to me.
It doesn't have to make sense to you. It makes sense to me.
Why? Expound.
Right,
Yeah,
because
please, I'm listening.
All right. So for me, how do you only shoot one time in the second half. I'm not even worrying about the 4 for 4 in the first half. A whole second half, you got one field goal. I've been saying it the beginning of the season. Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns doesn't get along. Everybody told me I was crazy. Everybody told me I was bugging. We've seen now on 2-3 occasions Brunson saying something to Karl-Anthony Towns while the lights is on. It's not in the tunnel. It's not personally. It's where everybody can see it. He told him stop complaining to the rest, and then he told him post the fuck up. And then now Karl-Anthony Towns complained from the beginning about the offense. You think Mike Brown like that? You showed up the coach. How many games is Mikal Bridges and Josh Hart going to shoot more field goal attempts than Karl-Anthony Towns? That's a coincidence? So for me, yeah, I'm going there. Maybe they both don't like Cat. That's impossible to do. If you're the coach, like you just said, Phil Jackson takes Kobe, God rest his soul. Yo, you got to pass the ball. Phil Jackson told Michael Jordan, you got to pass the ball, bro. How the fuck is Mike Brown not telling Jalen Brunson, you got to pass the ball? He ain't Micah fucking Kobe.
I thought he was Jordan.
Last year he was, 2 years ago.
My fault. My bad. I thought the nigga was Jordan. A couple of niggas up here told me the nigga was Jordan, but
Touche.
My bad.
So for me, I'm at an age, Fleet. I ain't got time to be sugarcoating nothing. I see things for what
sugarfoot.
Yeah,
Say it that way. There you go.
I see things for what it is. I ain't blind. I might need reading glasses, but I can see the screen clearly. Mike Brown don't like Karl-Anthony Towns, and Jalen Brunson don't like Karl-Anthony Towns. And that shit is a snowball effect. His best friends is Josh Hart and Mikal Bridges. And you know what? Them niggas don't like him neither. Do you see their body language towards Cat in games? We see Mikal Bridges not like him. We see Josh Hart roll his eyes and not like him. We speak the truth up here. So when we say, how the hell does Karl-Anthony Towns only shoot 5? You know how? Because the coach and the point guard don't fucking like him. That's the problem. And on top of that, these other niggas don't like him and they not producing. Bro, this shit is getting out of control. That's why I told y'all we're going to have an uncomfortable conversation very soon. Because if we're not in the finals, Jalen Brunson, you're going to have to step to the pulpit, brother, and explain. That's my soliloquy. That's what I'm thinking.
From a collective, we could talk about Brunson and Cat all we want. Absolutely right. But with the other three guys, it's not there either. So how do you just turn that on all of a sudden? Yes, we could talk about individual guys, but as Knicks fans and basketball fans, for me, a basketball fan before a Knicks fan, if I'm watching a team that doesn't, we've been watching them. What did I say, y'all? It's an 82 game dress rehearsal to try to win 16 games in the postseason. And for me, during this dress rehearsal, we don't look very good. It ain't really about the record. We don't look good. And the coach doesn't look like he has a pulse on his team. Did y'all watch the rotations last night? How can anybody be pleased with his substitutions and rotations last night? How could you be pleased with that? That didn't look like he knew what he was doing. That looked like he was reacting. It didn't look like adjustments. It looked like reacting to what is happening. He looked very frantic over there. He never looks like he's under control on what he has going on right now. Okay, right now is the time to experiment. Is it though? Right now? Tibbs got canned because he couldn't beat Indiana in back-to-back seasons. He did everything in his wheelhouse at the end of the season to try to beat them. Started Mitchell Robinson all of a sudden because he was like, Jesus Christ, I gotta find a way. Didn't find a way. This nigga is experimenting and will continue to experiment throughout the entire season. And we have nothing that is figured out to be like considered a good team. So That's my big concern, man. Huge concern.
I know shit hit the fan with somebody when Tori B says they gotta go. She has a lot of patience, bro. And Flea, for you to say the rotations are a reacting thing for the Mr. Read and React guy himself, Mike Brown, you can't read and react
in the league. The easiest offense in the league, Fabian. That's what they told us. Read and react. It's easy.
You can't read and read. I hate the whole Steph Curry thing. I don't understand. Who was successful in the triangle? The greatest fucking players of all time won championships with the triangle. That's who it was. Who was successful with this Mike Brown offense? The greatest shooter of all time, along with one of the best players of all time, Kevin Durant, along with another great shooter of all time in Klay Thompson, one of the greatest defenders of all time. Y'all don't want to hear it. Draymond Green, especially of his time period. Who the fuck did Mike Brown think he was running this system for? I don't care what sport it is. You cannot force the issue with these guys. They don't play this style of offense. Cat is not a read and react guy. The read and react thing cannot work from a coach. You're late on your reactions. You can be on point with the read, but now whatever plays that have been going on for the last 30 seconds to a minute, whatever changes you make for the substitution, what makes you think they can't just sub in somebody and go, okay, we're going to go away from that right now? That's so dumb.
That was my question. Just replace the name. Right. That was my question. Just replace the name. Like Ron Mills. I respectfully, I'm glad you're here, but fuck that question. Respectfully. Because now we about to get into a coaching carousel to try to figure this thing out. Like, yeah, we got to get into a solution, but now it's going to become a clown show. I get it. I understand what he's asking. Okay, we fire Mike Brown, then what? You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Which is what I was saying from the jump. Only difference is there was some semblance of chemistry. There was some semblance of we're going to fight, we're going to play hard, and we're going to give ourselves a fighter's chance every single night. Fabian, you said the losses are getting the same. You heard what you said? The losses are getting the same. How we lost last night is the same way we lost to Detroit. It's the same way we lost to Dallas. It's the same way we lost to Detroit 2 other times. The list goes on the same way we lost to Sacramento in Sacramento. How many more games? We could pull it, but that was just off the top. We could pull a list up.
I watched Karl-Anthony Towns all season try to be nice to everybody. I've not once watched nobody on the team try to be nice to him. And I'm not saying you're supposed to treat him like he's a child, but he's trying to be a good teammate. Tori B says something in the chat that I agree with. When I said, they don't pass him the ball. They in cahoots. And she said, but he tries to pass them the ball. We have to realize that no matter how we feel, no matter how bad OG, Mikal Bridges, and Josh Hart plays and Brunson at times plays, the common denominator is Cat. They don't like him. We need to stop, like my brother Fleece, I got to say correctly, pussyfooting around it.
No, sugarfooting, man.
I say both. I say both.
You say both. You say both.
I say both. I say both.
We like sugarfoot, though. We like sugarfoot.
Like, we got to stop sugar. Right? But when we watch it, fellas, it's no coincidence. You can't be the second best player on the team, and we brought you here to get us over the hump, and you attempt one field goal in a second half. The coach automatically, as soon as he comes in, he doesn't even think about, you're not even a thought when it comes to the offense. They don't like him. And it's a snowball effect. Brunson has his friends on the court. How do you think that works? If I'm playing a game with Fabian and Flea, I'm not passing none of you niggas the ball. I'm passing my guys the ball, whether they on fire or not. That's what humans do. OG don't care about nothing. He got his money. You see his whole aura. You see his body language. Got my 200. Got the baddie. I'm straight. He don't give a fuck about nothing. I'm just saying, we got to stop ignoring what's really going on. They don't like Cat.
Yeah, but
they are showing it night in and night out. So is the coach.
So let's stay there because we're back to the Mike Brown, Jalen Brunson, Nova Knicks front office is in on. We're trying to get Cat out of here. Who's in? Who else is in on this conspiracy?
No, I don't think the front office. For me, I think the front office, had good intentions. I think because I wanted Cat 2 years ago, right? Because of what I thought he was
we remember.
Yes,
we remember.
But now that Cat is here, Brunson and realized I don't like playing with him. I don't like him. I don't think the front office is trying to get him out of here. I think guys are purposely freezing him out. I'm sorry. And he's trying his best. He even goes to podiums and reporters with guys. And you see, come on, man, Mitchell Robinson disrespected him on the bench. Jalen Brunson did it a couple times on the court. We see how Josh Hart and Mikal Bridges treated him before. Like, yo, bro, the shit is clear as day. He has to go. It ain't going to work. They don't like him. They don't want to play with him. They are doing this shit on purpose. And Mike Brown knows, as long as I let Jalen Brunson do what he wants, my ass is going to keep this job. Because there's no way some of these games, Brunson is still in the game as bad defensively he is, and sometimes having an off night offensively. And he's still playing a whole quarter.
Do you remember that January 2024 team? Do you remember that team that Fabian loves? Like, he's just in love with that.
Fleet. No, I don't. But please tell me more.
Nigga said, I don't like that team. I want Cat on that. I want Cat on the team. Yo,
so we made it to the.
We all crazy. We all crazy. You're right. We crazy.
Made it to the conference finals. We were 2 games away from the finals.
That's a fact.
And it still wasn't a better team. I'll ride with that. But Flea, James Dolan did proclaim that they wanted Mike Brown on the sidelines for a more of a collaborative effort, right? So leading into AllBall's conspiracy that everybody's in on this, Tibbs, I don't think comes off as a guy that would even be part of something like that. He's too hard-nosed to be like, man, fuck whatever you got going on. This is how I coach. He got pride. He just got integrity, it seems like, for whatever his style of coaching is, whether you like it or not. I don't think he would be with that. So Mike Brown's a perfect guy to be the scapegoat, right? The sitting duck to go there, the face of this thing, to take on the heat for having a collaborative effort to get rid of Cat. Flea, do you think that the front office is in on this? Is Mike Brown and Brunson, are they in the cahoots to get rid of Cat by the end of this year?
I mean, if that is the case, that's ridiculous. If that is the case, that's absolutely ridiculous.
Right.
Absolutely ridiculous. And if you do that, what is the plan? Like, if Giannis wanted to be here, we would have had Giannis already. Like, let's cut the shit. I don't want to hear no more. We're gonna wait till the summertime, all that type of shit. So if that isn't the guy that we're gonna replace Cat with, then who? What's the next move? I just don't feel like Leon Rose has a well thought out plan anymore. It felt like he was executing something early on as we were ascending. And as soon as we hit like that peak, it feels like everything is kind of falling to the wayside and we don't know what the real plan is. That wasn't the plan to fire Tibbs and hire Mike Brown. Nobody could tell me that was the plan. If you trade Cat after trying to bullying him into submission, then what? What's the move?
He said this 2 years ago when I said, yo, that 2024 team was ill. Why did they go away from it? And Flea said, when he said this shit, I was like, oh shit, he might be right. They hit lightning in a bottle. They really didn't know what they were doing. And ever since then, it kind of seems like that. So a front office that doesn't really have this plan laid out, could they really pull off a conspiracy to get rid of Cat? And if that is the case, how are you going to downgrade somebody's value like that for what reason, AllBall? That's the question back at you. Okay, they're in cahoots to get Cat out of here. Why?
I'm just going off what I'm seeing on the court, right? And it's possible I can be totally wrong, and I'm fine with that. And what y'all are saying, I agree with. And to me, this is not even an argument between us because y'all are correct. There has to be a plan. Flea has been correct, right? I'm just saying I'm going off what my eyes are seeing. I said it from the beginning. Brunson and Cat don't like each other. If you my friend and you don't like somebody, how can me and that person be cool? So my opinion, automatically Bridges and Josh Hart don't rock with him like that. We've watched too many times where Cat has been disrespected. They don't match. They don't have no chemistry. They don't have any of that. Cat is trying to be friends with y'all. Y'all are not trying to be friends with Cat. And Mike Brown is in a situation where he's a nice guy. He has no respect, so he can't make them respect Cat. He probably don't like Cat. I'm being honest. What coach would like a guy that's a 7-footer that doesn't anchor the defense and can't play D and don't block shots? Karl-Anthony Towns.
When has a 7-footer been allowed to be booked? When has a 7-footer ever allowed himself to be booked? I don't understand why these niggas are not concerned about Karl coming into the locker room. Like, yo, I took 4 shots in the first half. Give me the rock. I'm looking at the box score. What up?
Fleet.
What's the deal?
Fleet.
Give me the ball.
That's true. Somebody in the chat said
they should be concerned about that.
The coach isn't doing anything about it.
Nothing.
So if the coach ain't doing nothing about it, the world I come from, nigga, you in on it.
Barney Rubble?
We are in trouble.
AllBall TV. They scared, but I'm not. They don't like comentario.
Y suscribe.